I thought I was about to make 200,000. Then a neighbor destroyed the whole deal with one complaint. What are you gonna do next? I'll tell you now. On the following pages, you're gonna see this nice waterfront property. 15 minutes from the city center, original condition though. So it's been used as a vacation home. It resides in an area where there are mostly vacation homes, but there's one property that's used as a year-round single family residence. I saw a big opportunity. So the deal was perfect on paper. On the next page, you see here the numbers. So I bought it for 330,000, and on paper, it was supposed to be worth at least 550. What was the plan? The plan was basically very simple. So we submitted this rezoning plan to the city. We had negotiations with them. Everything looked perfect on paper and in theory. So the plan called for 2 of the existing 3 dwellings to be demoed. So we wanted to get rid of them, keep the original house as a guest house, and then add buildable square footage to the lot so that the new owner, whoever wanted to buy it from me, could then build their dream home, year-round dream home there. Like I said, 15 minutes from the city, overlooking the water, perfect location, right? So sounds good. What happened? Why did it go south? So here's the thing. We did everything right on paper. Hired an architect, submitted the right plan, studied the rezoning maps and all of that, did our due diligence, at least we thought. And we were ready to list it when we actually realized, after the city had approved it, yes, after we realized that a neighbor had filed a complaint. So purchase was done perfectly. Then we cleaned up the property, architect hired, submitted the plans, city was on the same side with us, agreed, yeah, makes sense, this is a great plan, everything done by the book. But then this one neighbor files the complaint. It goes to the appeals court. Then the waiting period starts. And last Friday, believe it or not, I got a response back from them, a letter saying that we actually side with the neighbor. Not in a million years would I have believed that the appeals court sided with the neighbor. I was so sure that it was going to come back so that they reject their idea and back me up on this. But you live and learn. So I was wrong. What am I going to do now? So I basically have 2 options. I keep it as a rental, which would probably require 10 to 20,000 of repairs from my side. And that plan is not bad because I would say 4 to 6 months of the year, it's a very desirable area. And I think it would be something that I could make some money off of. But like I said, it requires some remodeling. And then I'm not sure if I want to be that Airbnb host because I have this channel and I have my coaching business and I have all the other stuff that I have to take care of. Yes, I could hire a property manager for that as well, but I'm not sure if I want to hold on to this property now that the whole deal went south. The option number 2 is that I sell it as is. And I have already contacted a listing agent. We already have pictures taken because we anticipated so that we would flip the whole thing because I was so sure that the appeals court, like I said, would side me on this. But no, now we're going to use those pictures and list the property as is, try to flip it. I paid 330. My comps indicate that it should be worth anywhere between, I would say, 350 to 390. I think I still got it for a good price, but I think the major issue now is the condition of the property. I never thought I would need to deal with that. There's going to be a property inspection and the new buyer, of course, wants to make sure that the roof is okay and the windows, there's no leaks, and it's like everything has to be in good condition. That's probably going to be the major headache going forward. I'm going to list it now, and there's going to be a future update regarding this particular deal so you guys will know how it turned out in the end. If I'm able to make money or even break even, I don't know yet, but I think I want to just get rid of it. Okay, so then most importantly, what are the real lessons out of this deal? So number 1, approval is never final until the appeal period ends. Like I said, I did my due diligence. What I didn't do was that I didn't interview any of the neighbors. I didn't talk to them about their plans and how they saw this because, like I said, one neighbor had actually done the same thing we did. And this was, ironically, the same person who filed the complaint. So I didn't see that having any legs, meaning their appeal. But things change and stuff happens, right? Number 2, zoning is always slow. It's emotional and political. So if you ever do rezoning, in your city. I have, by the way, done it successfully several times. This is the first real setback that I've had. You need to understand who the decision makers are, if there's a way to influence them, of course, in a legal matter, in a legal way. And understand that it could take forever. And then sometimes there's a quote unquote Supreme Court type of an appeals court as well, like here in this jurisdiction. So that would have taken even extra 2 or 3 years. This alone was like a 9-month process for me. Number 3, risk doesn't show up on your spreadsheet. The way I always factor risk in is that I make sure that my purchase price is low enough. If you remember from these videos, there are 3 ways how you can build equity. The number 1 and the most effective way is to buy below market value. So your purchase price is the same as the wholesale price, right? And then you rehab smartly, or you improve the value of the property by doing rezoning or make smart improvements, so to say. That's the second way. And then the third way is to ride the market so that your property appreciates over time. So my biggest hedge against things like this is to make sure that my purchase price is always right. So I have an exit plan in place, meaning that I have bought it at the right level. And this is really the number 4 here. Always make sure that you have an exit plan if things go south. How to avoid my mistake. I would say number 2 here on this list is the biggest one. Talk to neighbors, especially if in your jurisdiction there is a big and bureaucratic appeals process. Pre-zoning due diligence checklist is something you can check back with me. I can send you something that I use. Always check appeals timelines and local history. That's very important. And I would add, as an extra point here, make sure that you understand the rezoning map. Hire an architect who has enough experience in this, and then don't count paper profits until risks expire. The other thing is that I could blame the circumstances, I could blame other people, or I could start blaming myself. It doesn't really matter. Things went south and the neighbor did everything in their power, and this time they won, I lost, that's okay. And these videos and my channel is not about how I made 200,000. Sometimes I lost money on the table, or I left money on the table. Sometimes I lost money. It's not always pretty. And that's it. That's the life of being an entrepreneur. You get punched in the mouth daily. Your job is to wake up tomorrow morning feeling excited and ready to do the right actions or take the right actions again. So that's how I look at it. So you live and learn. I haven't lost any money yet, but I have collected many valuable lessons. And this is why I want to talk about these things, so that you guys know that everybody goes through this stuff. You probably have lost money as well, or you're struggling with some other deal as we speak. That's okay. If you want help, you can always reach out. But like I said, the reason why I talk about this is that we can all learn from this and move forward and make more money and be better people and business people down the road, so to say. Use if useful. This was my shorter update today as far as what I'm doing with this property and why it went south. And like I said, I promise to give you a future update when I know how much money I made or lost, or what the final outcome actually is. My only ask to you is that if you like the videos, please hit the subscribe and the like button. And like I said, that's all for today. Thanks, and I'll talk to you again in the next video.